I guess we just have Hearts of Iron 4 down there. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat333, and welcome back to New Campaign Trail. Now, it's been a while since we hopped into New Campaign Trail. Last time we did was... Was that midnight? No, that was Patrick Bateman. It was Bateman 2000. We hopped in with Patrick Bateman, the Democratic governor of New York City, and totally not crazy man and possible connoisseur of mass murder and prostitution / murder of prostitutes. And won in a pretty decisive margin against George W. Bush. Now it's time for us to return to the New Campaign Trail. And I did a like a long time ago for one of the actually two of the past mods that I've done. 2008 SpongeBob and 1964 Midnight, which we got the like goals for both of them. So I just kind of figured I'll do both in order. Again, in order of what got the like goal for first. So SpongeBob got it first, so we're going with round 2 of SpongeBob 2008. Last time we did that, we played a SpongeBob SquarePants. That was a good amount of fun. And you guys seem to really enjoy that one. And like last time, if we get 5 likes, I'll finish off with the last candidate. Now, I have a good friend of mine, Mr. Manor Streams, Kev, who's in the chat right now. And he is going to decide which candidate we are going to be playing. But, as mentioned before, we gotta recap what's going on. After 8 tumultuous years of the George W. Bush administration, has witnessed terrorist attacks, wars, natural disasters, a recession, and an extremely unpopular president, the party decided to nominate some of the biggest and most brazen political outsiders, and one of the greatest shocks to the American political system. SpongeBob SquarePants shocked the world by winning the Democratic nomination as a staunch populist, and has to successfully motivate his party and qualm fears of his youth and immaturity. Squirrel Tentacles shocked the world even harder by winning the GOP nomination by running on a fairly anti-push and anti-war platform. He has to unite the platform and needs maturity and intellect to close the gap with SpongeBob. And then Patrick Starr is a major wildcard in this race. After being nominated by a plethora of third parties, Patrick will have to balance their interests out in order to have the best performance for a third-party candidate since Perot, maybe even win the election with copious amounts of luck and strategy. That fucking disclaimer. Yeah, it gets intense. I'm just gonna pause that. Unmute. So we have Squidward and we have Patrick. So Kev, who are we playing today? Are we playing Patrick or are we playing Squidward? Republican or the Reform Party? I believe you can win as all of them in theory, depending on how things go. Sort of. You can pick how you want to run the Squidward. Let's do the star. There we go. I have Hearts of Iron 4 music in the background. Oh shit. That's the music that's going to be narrating us. Hold on, I'm going to... Oh, spoilers for the Ukraine series, I guess. There we go. There we are. Beautiful. If you told people in 2007 that an unemployed starfish would be on track to be the best performing independent / third-party presidential candidate since Ross Perot, you would have been laughed out of the building. Patrick Starr has gotten the endorsements of a libertarian, green constitution reform, and a crap ton of many other minor parties. It's been polling around the 20 to 25% range as of late. This comes as a major shock as there are serious concerns about Patrick's intelligence, immaturity, work ethic, etc. Patrick has also called for universal rock care. Nevertheless, people want something different this year, and they find Patrick intriguing. For some reason. Can Patrick deadlock or even win the election, or will his support crater as the campaign kicks in just as many challengers to the binary party system has experienced so dearly in the past? So, who do you think would be Patrick Starr's running mate? Kev. I already know the answer to this, but I want you to guess. I don't think you'll be ready for it. Because what we had we had Sandy as an option. We had Mermaid Man. We had Larry the Lobster. And I think Squidward has like Mr. Krabs, Plankton, Kelpie G, I believe. Who could possibly be the nominee for Patrick? Considering Patrick is a complete and utter dumbass who wanted Little Rock as his running mate, this is the next best thing. Although this would be a damn good pick if utilized correctly. Dwayne Johnson, or still most well known as The Rock at this point, would easily be the most well-known and charismatic member of a major national party ticket and would still be a huge buzz for Patrick's campaign, which would significantly help get people talking about the run. The Rock would also add some Hollywood support of Lucky and would open the door to promotion on a large platform. Considering Rock is technically a moderate Republican, it would also help with that voting base in theory as well. However, he's woefully inexperienced, and his lack of political positions and past questionable content in the WWF/WWE could provide issues. Nevertheless, who wouldn't at least consider voting for the people's champion? Except for Karens and hardcore partisans. I should have seen this come. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is our only option for vice president. So, yeah. Here we go. So we have some wordy-ass answers, I'm not going to lie. In a desperate move from the once promising Reform Party, they have nominated you as their candidate for president. After party founder Ross Perot achieved 8% in federal funding in 1996, 2000 nominee Pat Buchanan horribly underperformed and lost that federal funding. The party fell out of relevancy. With your nomination, the party has once again entered the public spotlight, albeit for all the wrong reasons. Considering your worrisome and unorthodox background, you have received bad press right off the gate. What do you have to say that will not only unite the party, but also push back against the attacks recently lobbied at you? This campaign tick is nothing else. Let's take a look at the map again to see what's going on. We're leading in the New England states, Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. We have 11 electoral votes, which would be the best third-party performance since definitely George Wallace. I think it's George Wallace at this point. I think the answer I want to read is this one. Luckily I have the guide pulled up right next to me so I can just read the answer I'm supposed to do off of there. Despite me only finding out about him, I think I would consider myself a fan of this Ross Perot fellow. Looking at our recent economic struggles, it's become painfully obvious that NAFTA has royally screwed over the American worker with its exploitative measures. You can also see this country struggling dearly for its foreign policy and healthcare, which is what Perot warned us about, I think. It's time we honor Perot's vision of breaking the two-party system. Oh, fuck. I clicked the wrong thing. Goddamn it. Once and for all. Pundits hammer on you for essentially admitting to adopting these policies on the spot, but as the days go on, you begin to notice folks fed up with the establishment proclaiming their support for your campaign, being brought in with your fiery rhetoric. Surely this is the beginning of something. You can just picture Patrick saying that, and it's so cursed. Here's some much-needed good news for the campaign. A plethora of third parties, including Libertarian, Green, Constitution, Rent is Too Damn High, etc., have recently thrown their support behind your candidacy. Expect many splinter candidacies, sure, but this is a major boon to your campaign. How will you respond to this glorious news? I have no clue what these individual parties' policies are or what they stand for, but the more support, the merrier. We have to unite in order to stand a chance against the Republicans and the Democrats. Party bosses of the organizations are wary of you personally, but they want to latch on to your momentum swiftly in order to benefit from this decision. Expect having a great difficulty to hold on to these various groups, however, and expect these bases to clash more frequently than not. And now we're at 6 electoral votes. We're ahead in Indiana, Iowa, the Dakotas, Montana. We're tied in Kansas. We're almost there in Missouri. Almost there in Nebraska. We're ahead in Colorado. We're doing insanely well in a lot of these places. And Alaska, of course. Doing well in Alaska. We're going to visit California. In a major surprise, you chose famous actor and professional wrestler Dwayne Johnson, better known as The Rock, as your running mate. A self-described independent who supported candidates from both major parties in the past, Johnson will help solidify your outsider appeal and credentials. Johnson also knows how to get around with a mic. Regardless of why he decided to join you in the first place or why you thought picking an actual Rock would be a good idea, we may never know. But regardless, do you have anything to say about your running mate? And again, the option I want to read is hidden. Okay, there we go. I've heard recently from the press that I supposedly had a perception problem, that we're limited in our outreach to voters, and we might as well respond. That's why I've selected someone who can easily draw the attention of the average voter by simply opening his mouth and uttering a single syllable. I've recently watched his film roles and old wrestling promos, and I have to say I was hooked onto every line that was espoused from Dwayne's mouth. And I didn't even know what he was saying. I'm confident he'll knock it out of the park. Long line of presidential tickets throughout the years, Dwayne is easily one of the most likable and charismatic members of one. Many outsiders have been drawn in by his name recognition, mastery of the mic, much for charging of your enemies. Immediately after your campaign began, many critics have already lobbied against you, specifically on your intelligence and maturity. A recent opinion piece from the Washington Post in particular lambasted you as an unsophisticated figure with an incredibly dense, juvenile personality. Your best friend SpongeBob has already suffered from these attacks, albeit in a milder form. What do you wish to combat this bombardment of attack? The elitist news media loves to dogpile any viewpoint outside the mainstream because they challenge the same failed viewpoints that have infiltrated their circle for decades now. They do this by not only asking loaded questions about the ideology itself, but undermining the credibility of differing viewpoints by bringing up aspects that don't have any relation whatsoever with the belief in question. In this case, I am attacked not for my beliefs, but instead for my maturity and intelligence. I am perfectly capable of administrating the powers of presidency, despite what the naysayers say, and we will bring change to the system. Advisor is a bit irked by your strong rhetoric and seemingly playing into the immature angle, but eventually these remarks are taken up by your base, as they begin to lambaste what they consider as fake news. In the future, many outside the establishment will look at these comments for inspiration when challenging big media. And oh my god, we're gaining. We'll do California. Even though it's early, your support has risen in recent polls, baffling many pundits and political advisors in the process. As a result, many of your fellow strategists have been suggesting utilizing your running mate in a more prevalent manner to bolster your campaign even more. Mr. Johnson agrees, and he's been stomping at the seams to get out the door more. What will you do? We'll send Rock throughout in all 50 states, speaking to or promoting the campaign, but instead of talking about policies in a traditional format, let's actually have Dwayne cut wrestling-style promos on our opponents. I've seen them, and they're funny. Once again, you've disappointed your advisors by going for the seemingly more rowdy and unserious choice. However, crowds at these events are energetic as Dwayne spits out his thousands of phrases and gives out speeches that wouldn't be out of place in all but substance in the Attitude Era. This will actually probably hurt you regardless, but is it actually, though? The Great Purple Sea. In a major switch round from 4 years ago, both you, Squidward, and SpongeBob pledged your opposition to the Iraq War in various degrees. How do you plan to differentiate yourself from your opponents and effectively solidify yourself on the issue? Well, unlike Squidward and SpongeBob, I'm not backed by special interests or parties that are controlled by the deep state. The military-industrial complex is a powerful force that has more control and influence over our major two parties than most people realize. Despite the promises of my opponents, they will fall back in line one way or another. I will not, And no matter what happens, I pledge to get the troops out as soon as I can in a timely manner. It's about time we put the interests of the American people first. Your advisors continue to be livid at you for your seemingly rash campaign decisions, but your crowds continue to get rowdier and rowdier with many more even burning memorabilia from the war. Will this work out in the end? It's working out pretty well already. Reports to come out late, which stipulates an incident where SpongeBob brutally massacred a bed of clams at a park bench in Bikini Bottom in order to protect a Krabby Patty he was in a romantic relationship with. Considering this could be a big break for your campaign, how will you respond? In order to keep our friendship with SpongeBob, I will pivot from attacking SpongeBob directly, but instead order my surrogates to raise hell on the issue. We'll also let SpongeBob bungle a response, to be fair, as he tries desperately flailing in the air. I know. This has the effect of capitalizing on the entire affair while simultaneously coming off as clean for the most part. Although SpongeBob is suspicious at first, you two eventually make up and move forward with the campaign. Holy fucking shit. Early in the campaign, we saw figures such as Senator Obama, Representative Ball, and Squidward utilize the internet for advantage in various ways. With Squidward even winning the GOP nomination on the back of grassroots funding powered by the internet. As a result, Squidward is beginning balancing his fundraising and advertising operations between the internet and traditional methods, while SpongeBob is going all in on television ads and appearances. What will you do to make up ground? We're going to place all our eggs in this contraption called the internet. We'll hunker down on it. Those two sissies can fight over obsolete and lame television market all they want, while we'll buy up advertising spots on various social media and forums, as well as setting up more efficient fundraising operations on our website, www.starrock08.com. Thankfully, elitists don't understand how to utilize the internet to the best of their abilities quite yet, so we'll have mostly free range. This helps solidify your base and young voters, as many appreciate you going hard on social media. Oh, Jesus, this is insane. Breaking news. The already volatile economic conditions have taken another hit today as financial giant Lehman Brothers has recently announced their intention to enter Chapter 11 bankruptcy. As a result, global markets have taken an even bigger nosedive than before, and in the U.S. in particular, talks of stimulus to rejuvenate the already failing economy have ramped up in Congress. Do you wish to interject yourself in the negotiation process? And no matter where you look, I can't do the Patrick voice for much longer. I gotta conserve my voice. No matter where you look, both proposals from the two major parties have one thing in common. They search for bailout the banks and only give a slap on the wrist for the destruction of the economy. It's honestly pathetic. When elected president, one of the things I'll do will be push significant reform of the banking industry, make sure another situation like this is averted for our future generations. Hit 'em where it stings. Your base is ecstatic to see you take the attack against the two parties and establish new proposals that would stick it to the people who caused the mess in the first place. Moderates are a bit turned off, though. Can we picture the discourse around the Star campaign now? Like, everyone will be losing their fucking minds about how well he's doing at this point. Despite many expecting your downfall, some polls continue to see you rise more and more support. As you poll watch, your running mate has been attacked as of late for his more controversial statements, which include misogynistic and ableist comments in the past by various pundits. What will you do in order to counteract these attacks? That's funny, considering Squidward's running mate has committed infinitely worse shit than Dwayne. Hell, even Stanley's put many people, including me and SpongeBob, in danger due to her reckless actions in the past, before. Yet they focus on Dwayne because we're the outsiders, challenging the status quo. This is why we're running, to change the system for the better. Sadly, big media will stoop to levels in order to squash an opposition. But I'm sure the American people will realize these unfair and unjust accusations against us are just that, blown out of proportion. You continue to alienate your advisors, but as they complain, you're coming off too petty and mature. But your base continues to rise in enthusiasm. Maybe you're onto something after all. you need to keep visiting California if this guide is correct. As the campaign progresses, a plethora of Republicans and media analysts begun scorching you as wildly immature, unfit to become president, and an unserious candidate. Don't worry, SpongeBob will receive a similar bombardment of attacks, albeit on a more minuscule level. As these attacks continue, how will you counteract them? Once again, the elitists are resorting to irrelevant and refuted attacks against me. It's completely pathetic. But instead of falling into the obvious trap, let's instead focus on my ideals and policies, while attacking Squidward for involving himself in the gutter, directly and indirectly. He just want to focus on the issues at hand because he knows too well he'll lose on that front. We're too smart. Too smart, folks. Way too smart. That Donald Trump fellow's enthralled to hear you bash the elites, and as a result decided to do a few campaign events with you. These events go over extremely well, so expect a boost to your campaign. People are still wary of your supposed immaturity, though, and your advisors continue to feel like they're being ignored. One of the major issues for this cycle comes in the form of healthcare. It's been estimated that over 100 million Americans haven't had some insurance at some point in the past year, as most Americans believe that the healthcare system needs major reform. What's your plan for making healthcare more affordable and accessible? Our healthcare plan will be tremendous, folks. We can't get exact details at this moment in time, but what we can say is that it will address the needs of our country while not engaging in socialistic elements as proposed by my opponent in SquarePants. We're going full Trump right now. Fuck it. People and analysts especially rip into you being so vague on such a key issue, but nevertheless, many are thrilled to see you fight for their health care in a respectful manner. Breaking news. On the campaign trail today, your Republican opponent, Squidward Tentacles, in an off-guard remark, called yourself a dumbass multiple times, much of a charge in of SpongeBob especially. It was slammed Squidward for the affair. As a result, Squidward has been dealt a major blow with his statements beginning to take hold on major and local news broadcasts. What do you have to say about this turn of events for you? We'll just let Squidward shoot himself in the foot in his many feet trying to respond to this blunder. Just let yourself commit off as an adult compared to Squidward, letting him taste his own medicine after attacking for being immature constantly throughout the campaign. As you see your poll numbers rise and rise, you might have a chance of winning after all. There we go. The first debate is coming around the corner. As for why your stupid ass prepared with food, I have no clue. But nevertheless, if you can somehow put together a respectful performance here, you're certain to receive a much-needed momentum and support boost. Will you attend? Of course I will attend. Not only will it be an amazing time to spend time with both Squidward and SpongeBob, we will also get much-needed shots at both parties. This night is going to be fantastic, believe me. It doesn't matter which answer we say. As it turns out, the night was not fantastic whatsoever. The three of you just argued on top of each other to the point where the moderator just quit on the spot halfway through. At least you attended the debate, though? Really bad news, Patrick. Reports have swirled in detailing your involvement in rampant soliciting and even potential robbery in the past few years of your life. As a result, another barrage of attacks from media has come your way, placing more strain on an already unstable situation for your campaign. How will you establish this? Fake news, fake news, fake news. I am sick and tired of the mainstream media parroting these lies in order to sabotage my campaign. This is easily their most pathetic attempt at spearing a good name. Big media is going to regret it when they are going to have to deal with me for these next 4 years, regardless if I'm elected or not. Your support was going to take a major hit nonetheless, but you were able to give a spirited defense targeted at your anti-establishment base, which in turn softens a little bit. Nevertheless, this is going to be a long campaign ahead of you. Oh shit, yeah. Kind of plummeted us a little bit. Once again, the Levant-sized elephant in the room has ravaged discussions as of late. As the Israel-Palestine discussion begins heated in public discourse, where do you stand on the issue? Keep in mind that various groups can either appeal or repel with your stance on this intricate issue. I'm just gonna ascribe to the two-state solution and call for peace between the two sides. Blatantly taking one side is just too risky for an all-encompassing third party such as ourselves. It's a plain answer that nevertheless will not affect you too much during the rest of this campaign. Patrick Starr is well known to be a staunch Zionist. He is a literal star. You have a good point. You see your position on the topic of abortion, which will be a contentious political topic since the Roe v. Wade decision 35 years ago. Safe, legal, and rare. This seems like a common sense position and is the most consensus answer I can give. I'd rather not dwell on this topic any further, if I'm being honest. Safe answer that appeals to most of your coalition, although conservatives are a bit deflated. Gay marriage has been a key political issue during the decade and was seen as a major reason which helped Bush win in 2004. So with abortion, many are based on varying and diverse issues on the subject. What are your personal opinions on the subject? I personally believe that we can find a good compromise on this issue, whether it be civil unions, leaving up to the states, whatever. We also risk too much by going one direction or the other. Gay folks in your coalition are content with this, as you mainly go the safe route on this issue. Back to California. We've got some major news for you, Mr. Starr. Ross Perot, the legendary founder of the Reform Party, one of the best independent third-party candidates in the American presidential history, has called you for a meeting regarding a potential endorsement. Despite Perot distancing himself from the Reform Party since the 2000 election, he's seen your recent performances and polling as an encouraging sign that maybe, just maybe, the two-party system isn't as secure as he thought. He, however, has many reservations on your character and experience. Let's just say that. What will you do? Oh my god, Ross Perot. Of course we'll go to Dallas to personally meet the man. I adore him for his bold stance against both major parties, as well as his policies that were ahead of his time. We can get him to endorse him, this will be a major boon to our campaign. I'm going to do the numbers. This one right here. Although he quite clearly sees you as a dunce, he endorses you regardless, and pledges both financial and physical support for the campaign to finally achieve his dream of breaking the two-party system once and for all. Starr Johnson Trump Perot ticket, let's go. The VP debate coming around the corner and saying to be being seen as a favorite. What will you do? We'll train Dwayne. Try saying that 5 times fast. We'll train Dwayne. We'll train Dwayne just as hard when I was train my pet rock for the great snail race. Considering that resulted in a victory for us, and how charismatic Dwayne is, we'll put our faith in him. Prove to the world why you became the Rock. This one right here. Johnson pulls through in the end and gets the audience after electrifying the audience. Expect a small boost as a result. It's a literal Avengers Assemble moment. It really is. Just recently, Russia has been a lot of controversy after being victorious in a victorious 2-week war of Georgia that saw them establish influence over South Ossetia and Abkhazia. With many continuing to question your intelligence and competence on foreign policy, what will we do about Russia? Despite my belief that we should focus on the American people first and foremost, we cannot ignore the Russian menace. We believe in peace in our time, whatever, by working with our trusted European allies. We need to show Russia a heavy hand towards Russia, whether that be sanctioning or limiting partnership contracts, to show that imperialism isn't tolerated. This is a good answer that will satisfy most of your supporters and the electorate in general. After the train wreck that was the first debates, everyone involved is prepped back up to once again for the second and third debates. Should you have a good performance, it will give you much needed boost to your campaign. Should you flub it, however, it could mark the end of your campaign. Will you attend the debates? Of course, I'll attend. I'm truly confident we will outperform everyone's expectations for us. For this entire campaign, big media has treated us as like a complete and utter joke, not worth taking seriously. When we win these debates, it will be a sweet victory to outshine my bestest of friends. There we go. Despite all odds, you pulled up the win. Is this a sign of good fortune come election day? We're coming through on the West Coast. Oh my god. How are we doing? We're close in California. What would be your final message heading into November? Our economic economy has never been in worse shape since the Great Depression. It was failed economic policies ratified by both parties that caused this fall from grace to occur in the first place. I guarantee everyone listening right now that under a Patrick Starr administration, our economy will be stronger than ever in no time. The economy is a top issue for most Americans, and it's imperative you strike on the issue and gain yourself a sizable contingent of voters fed up by the establishment's handling of the mirrored paychecks in recent memory. I don't know what that means. Winning both Texas and California in 2008 sounds fucking hilarious. It really does. Oh, we're winning this shit. Oh my god. Well, although it's unsure if this will play a big role or not, reports have come in that marine biologist Stephen Hillenberg is running a writing campaign this year. What do you have to say about him? He seems like a cool guy, but maybe we can do something with each other after the election. As for right now, it's best that we just leave him alone. You quickly develop a friendship with this particular fellow, as both of you are in contention with at least somewhat respectable third-party independent campaigns. Win or lose, you've just gained a friend, and that's pretty wholesome. Alright, we're going to visit California. How are we doing? We're close in Pennsylvania, very close in Michigan. Where will your final campaign events be before this election starts? Hillenberg has 12% there. That's actually impressive. It's outperforming Squidward for sure. We'll hold rallies in California and Texas in order to increase our share of the popular vote. You end your short campaign at Disneyland as you head back to Bikini Bottom to wait your fate. Here we go. Scored only 19%. It's quite sad for the Republicans. Listen, the Patrick train is already rolling through. We've got Indiana, lost Kentucky, but I don't know if we ever had a shot in hell in Kentucky. Vermont is coming for us. Would Bernie Sanders support Patrick Starr campaign? These are the questions I ask myself at night. One Squidward's home state of Missouri. We won Florida. We won Ohio. Absolutely would. I think so too. Oh. We won Texas. We're winning the Plains states by pretty decisive margins. We won West Virginia, Arizona. Oh my god. Ooh, lost in Pennsylvania. That's kind of rough. But the West Coast holds strong for us. Shit, we lost Michigan too? If we get Massachusetts and California, it's over. Fuck. Come on, California. We got Oregon. Let's go, baby! Star sweep, star sweep, star sweep. Look at that. 285 to 181 to 72. My God. Out of all people, you were the one to break the American political system and become the first president outside of a two major parties since Washington. Both the Democrats and the GOP are racing to stop the hemorrhage. Go far with Star, go far with Star. As you tune into Fox News and MSNBC election coverage, you can clearly tell the shock in their faces as they continue to either project strong but losing performances on your behalf, or even better, you actually winning states. Don't worry, folks like Ed Schultz and Bill O'Reilly are ecstatic to see a challenge of the political establishment finally take form. And on this night, it was often as he just won the presidency in a complete stunner. Even if it was a narrow victory, you were able to match or even slightly outperform President Bush's electoral vote total, depending on the exact results. SpongeBob and Squidward can't give help but give muted concessions, as you crowd out of supporters can't help but party as hard as humanly possible after this improbable victory. Dwayne Johnson is thrilled this high-risk, high-reward action paid off in dividends for him, As with this win, he established himself as quite possibly the most famous and well-known celebrity on planet Earth. Expect some random New York businessman named John Barron to take notice, but don't worry about that need, whomever he is. Dwayne, however, may or may not struggle with his new position as Vice President of the Hostile Senate and lack of political experience, but although he could bullshit his way out of quite a few quagmires with just sheer charisma alone. But I don't expect a reasonable Congress heading in. Both parties are gunning for your head from the get-go, especially with this narrow victory. But should you deal with them in a successful manner, expect a plethora of third-party gains to occur in both 2010 and 2012. Whether or not your movement continues into next generation politics is up to you, while your conduct while it's present. So stay on top of everything, especially for your narrow win. Look at that. Look at that. Let's check closest states. Massachusetts was decided by 14,000 votes. Washington, not a sport margin. 20,000 votes here or there. Georgia actually would have been pretty close too. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that again. But like we did with the SpongeBob one, we're going to tank it. Will we get a batshit horrifying ending like the SpongeBob one? I don't know, but we'll find out. So, let's speedrun and tank this shit. Alright. What do you have to say will not only unite the party, but also push back against the attacks recently lobbed off on you? Huh? I won't accept the nomination to run with my two bestest friends in the whole world. They'll surely be happy to see me on the campaign trail. Now excuse me, as I need to take my pants off. I see a tank of water with ice, and I need to cool off after such a long, intense speech. The absolute first thing people see on the news about your campaign is you admitting to not taking this entire thing seriously, along with a nude picture of you in a water tank. This is going to be a long campaign ahead. We're still ahead in Maine, though. There's still hope. Alright, how will you respond to this glorious news? I'm just gonna ignore these parties. I mean, what's a man gonna do at various parties with no purpose other than eating candy and getting high off lean? I'm running for president, for goodness sake. You can't run for president while partying too hard. Everyone knows this. You truly have the brain of a toddler, don't you? It's awful. Alright, we're just going to try to help SpongeBob as much as we can. So we'll campaign in, like, Montana's going to be close. Why not? What do you have to say about your running mate? I hate this! Why couldn't I pick an actual rock as my running mate? Screw this. At this point, I don't care about the campaign. We'll sell rocks on Master Loyal supporters, and we'll even throw them into crowds for free. Hundreds are issued, with some even reported missing after the chaos that injured afterwards. This has become a tragedy, and it's your damn fault as your campaign sees endless lawsuits from the incident. Your campaign essentially died right on the spot. Yep, that's, yeah. Alright. We're calling us immature. What are we going to do? Alright. Even though I realize how impactful these criticisms are, we don't handle them well. I'll tell you what, I will personally give a speech on national television, putting these rumors to rest. However, my speech will be unscripted and ad-libbed. I have to prove to myself and others that I'm truly competent enough to be the president of 303 million people. Let's get this done. You would proceed to make the speech that was filled with mumblings, hogwash, and simply nothing of substance. As a result, you have turned off everyone, ranging from your supporters to critics, and you have made an ass out of yourself, dummy. Montana? Freddie Gibbs and Madlib 2024. Okay, what are we gonna do with Dwayne Johnson? We'll just send him out to promote the resurrection of pet rock merchandising. Must continue to spread the gospel of rocks to the masses. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen, chat? Jesus Christ, don't tell me we're doing this for the entire campaign, right? Alright. What are we going to do? Amen, brother, hell yeah. What are we going to do to differentiate ourselves on the Iraq issue? Second thought, maybe fighting Iraq isn't such a bad idea. It wouldn't hurt if we just simply spread democracy in the world, even through force. To prove just how committed I am to fighting this war, I will personally go to the front lines and fight among our proud and patriotic soldiers. I may even launch chemical weapons at the Iraqis. Everyone knew we were stupid, but come on now. Using chemical weapons on the Iraqis, Jesus. Well, SpongeBob is winning by a decent margin. Good for SpongeBob. Let's go back to Montana. Patrick Star Chem Bombs Baghdad. Alright. Considering this could be a big break for your campaign, how will you respond? I honestly don't see what SpongeBob did was so malicious and perverted. I mean, I do what he did on a weekly basis. It's extremely funny and healthy to do it. I mean, I'm gonna rip up a clam right now in front of the entire country right now. It's not bad whatsoever. 1. You are a monster. 2. You just took SpongeBob's scandal and placed it all entirely on you, as Squidward can't help laugh at your incompetence. Great going, dummy. We helped out our friend SpongeBob. We're definitely on a one-way trip to The Hague at this point. Even at the various early in the campaign, we saw figures such as Obama, Paul, and Squidward. Okay, what are we going to do to make up ground? We don't need advertising if we continue our rock business. Rocks aren't going to make up for your lack of advertisements. Just saying. Sure they will. They're cool rocks. Alright. What are we going to do with negotiations? Wait, the economy's collapsing? Okay. In my humble opinion, we need to focus on stabilizing the market for pet rocks. I'm sure once that problem is solved, everything will be just fine. Don't tell me you're gonna still going on with this rock shit. And this was the most important issue of the campaign! For God's sake. Alright. What are we gonna do to counteract these attacks? We'll just do this. Why not? Maybe we're onto something after all. Maybe not. Visit Florida. Okay, we're calling this immature, right? What do you mean I'm immature? What's wrong with showing you off your undies in public? Or playing with action figures, or listening to nursery rhymes nonstop? I'm perfectly fine acting as a baby all the time. If Patrick's advisor were pissed last time, I wonder what's going through their heads now. No, wait, I got a better one. Look, we need to come off as a mature specimen in order to appeal to the people. I'll clean up my act and continue to listen to my advisors on how to present my campaign in a more presentable manner. In fact, I'll always make sure to wear suits and a top hat whenever I'm on stage. I like this one. We'll do this one. Your advisors and media pundits praise your speech, but you see your poll numbers remain either stable or slide up a bit. What's up with that? Probably 9mm, my guess. Okay, healthcare. This was my first policy plank, and I'm proud to emphasize it here tonight. I call it Universal Rock Care. And what it accomplishes is that it gives our rocks in our country free access to our healthcare services when damaged by either animated life or the natural elements. This is my signature policy and will be my main objective for the first year of my policy. Ciao. Well, those who are at Arches National Park would appreciate this, knowing what happened to Landscape Arch in the 90s. Let's see how this works for the rest of America, though. People were horrified when they first heard this proposal. They are infinitely horrified to see you still subscribing to this policy in the general election. You know, if you actually want to win something, stop talking about the fucking rocks next time. Virginia. Okay, Squidward. We'll see. You know what? We'll see how Squidward likes it when he gets called an asshole on live television. What a big jerk. Great going, dumbass. Instead of capitalizing on this momentum gift, you now have caused a scandal that has embroiled both you and Squidward, as many begin seeing SpongeBob as a sane choice compared to the guttermouth convention down the street. You had one shot, and you blew it. Oh, well, look at that. All right. Let's go to the campaign. It's going to be fantastic. It wasn't. We'll do the fake news answer. Why not? All right, so hear me out. Israel, Palestine are great areas and great markets for pet rocks. That'll be my main focus in this region. You do realize you're running for president and not a fucking rock business, right? We should bomb them both with rocks. We'll just arm both sides with rocks. Play both sides. Alright. Consider your position on the topic of abortion. Looking up into this topic, abortion is straight murder. At the very least, I will appoint judges that will overturn Roe and return this country to silver sanity. The nerve of some people. Patrick Starr coming out strong against abortion. Congratulations. You've just opened the canister worms and you will suffer big for it. With the exception of diehard evangelicals, your coalition has lost all hope in you not being a radical nut. This was not needed. How about gay marriage? Recently, I've toured our country's struggling schools, and quite possibly the most disturbing discovery I made wasn't the lack of funding, standardized testings, or any of the enjoyment of a craft. No. It was grooming. And it was predominantly by these people that consider themselves gay. These people are impersonating impressioning our youngsters with sick, demented ways. Trust me, we're gonna curve the support slope our country has gone down recently. And the first place we're going to be looking at is our schools. Is this the Ron DeSantis campaign? What the fuck? Dude, this isn't 2023. Why do you have to go this far for a little gain? This comes off as too aggressive and condescending for the electorate, and many begin to feel uneasy voting for you. God, you're a complete dweeb. I'll try it. Oh, you did it for Squidward. Okay, shit. See what we can do there. Sandy would take the win. Big shocker. Okay. What are we going to do in response to Putin attacking Georgia? Putin's attacking Georgia? This is an attack on our soil, and let's declare war on Russia immediately. Let's send tanks and rocks into Atlanta. Pronto. Not the state, you fucking moron. And how the hell did you fit one more rock joke into this? I wish now that I pursued baseball instead of climbing the political ranks now. Jesus Christ. Alright. Let's see what we can do here. I actually won the debate. Look at that. What will be our final campaign message heading into November? What does messed up rock business. Promised to donate them to charity fighting rock causes all over the world.
Stop with the rocks, for fuck's sake!
Alright, Steven Hillenburg. I'm not doing that. That's fucking evil now. Let's not even bother with him. This guy does remind you of something you vaguely remember, but alas, nothing occurs. Well, SpongeBob's going to win in a very narrow election. Let's just go back to Bikini Bottom and take a nap. Finish Honolulu, and you rest your campaign Bikini Bottom, anxiously waiting your fate. Yep. I like to think all of his vibes are screamed at in unison. It's thematically relevant ear rape. Yep. Ohio will be interesting, but I think these two swing states are going to go red. Yep, there goes Ohio. Pretty close for Squidward, actually. Squidward and SpongeBob, actually. Virginia was actually very close. Wow. And we lost the election. So let's see what loading screen we get, because we tanked everything completely.
Meme theory. How Patrick Star shitposted his way into becoming a billionaire.
By MP Lane.
Yup, that's him. You're probably wondering how we ended up in this situation. How did he do it? How did Patrick Star become a billionaire after making a mockery of himself in the 2008 election? It's been a whole year since it happened. My God!
That shit, Jesus.
And it still doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're telling me that the guy who was unemployed a couple of years ago is now one of the wealthiest people on Earth? Now, there's lots of theories out there trying to explain how this happened. Theories about corruption, grifting, stupidity on the American people's behalf, corporate incompetency, exploitation of an antiquated economic system. But I'm not going to talk about any of these. Instead, I'm going to talk about how Patrick Star used shit-posting tactics to gain his wealth. So, ladies and gentlemen, who really won in the end? Yeah, closest states. Yeah, Virginia was close, but not really by much. The fact that we got 2.5 million votes is still amazing. I would just vote for Hillenburg at that point. People vote. Oh God, Steven Hillenburg got more votes than us. Holy shit. Let's see. We probably got Ron DeSantis to vote for us, and then everyone else just doing protest votes to end all protest votes with that one. Anyway, my ass is starting to hurt. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. But thank you as always for watching, my friends. Thank you for joining me on the new campaign trail. As always, like last time, actually, if we get 5 likes, we'll go ahead and play the Squidward campaign. But we'll wait and see how we end up doing there first, of course. I'll take any other suggestions for new campaigns as well. I'm looking at doing another round of 1964 Midnight. Might play the Red series as well, because there's just a new drop for that. I have a couple ideas for mods I might play, but I'll play those by ear. Pun only slightly intended there. Anyway, thanks for watching, gang. Like, dislike if you didn't, leave a comment, feedback down in the comment section below. The sub button for uploads weekdays as well as occasional Saturdays.
And check out all my links down in the description box below. Thanks for watching, gang. My name has been Mr. Dogbuck333, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.